Hi friends, I am Dr. Manu N. Today we will discuss a medical topic regarding blood. This is our contact details. So let's start the topic by defining the term hematology. In simple terms, it can be called as a study of blood. Now coming to its proper definition, it's a branch of medical science that studies the morphology of blood and blood forming tissues and also covers the cellular composition of blood, blood cell formation, hemoglobin synthesis and all related disorders. This is its proper definition. So it's evident from the definition itself that it's a vast topic. So friends, today we will discuss about an introduction to blood, plasma and finally about plasma proteins. So let's start. It is a fluid connective tissue and it is called as fluid of life as it carries oxygen from lungs to all parts of the body and carbon dioxide from all parts of the body back to lungs. So it plays an important role in cellular respiration. It is also called as fluid of growth as it carries nutritive substances from digestive tract and hormones from endocrine glands to all the tissues. Also it can be called as fluid of health as it protects the body against diseases and gets rid of unwanted substances by transporting them into excretory organs like kidney. Blood forms almost 8% of the total body weight and its pH ranges from 7.35 to 7.45. Now coming to its functions, it has respiratory, nutritive, excretory and protective functions. Protective functions are with the help of WBCs, antibodies and toxins. It is also involved in the regulation of body temperature. It is done with the help of water, which is a major constituent of blood. We all know that water has two important properties, that is, it has high specific heat and high conductivity. With this high specific heat, it buffers the sudden change in body temperature, and with this high conductivity, it helps to take out heat from an organ for uniform distribution throughout the body. With these properties, the blood preserves the very narrow range in body temperature. Now coming to the blood composition. As we have discussed earlier, blood forms 8% of the total body weight. When the whole blood is centrifuged, 55% of it forms the plasma and 45% forms the formed elements. Now coming to the plasma, the major constituent is water, that is 92%, and 7% is formed by plasma proteins and 1% by other solutes like ions, nutrients, waste products, gases, etc. Formed elements includes erythrocytes, leukocytes and platelets. Now let's discuss about plasma. It's a clear straw colored fluid and it comprises of 55% of the total blood volume. 91% of it is formed by water and 9% by solids. Among the solids, 1% is formed by inorganic molecules like sodium, potassium, chloride, bicarbonate, magnesium, etc. and 8% is formed by organic molecules. Plasma proteins forms the major part of the organic molecules. Major plasma proteins include albumin, globulin and fibrinogen. 55% of the plasma proteins is formed by albumin, 38% by globulin and 7% by fibrinogen. Also we have to be thorough about its normal values in blood. Albumin forms about 3 to 5 gram per deciliter, globulin 2 to 3 gram per deciliter and fibrinogen 0.3 grams per deciliter. Another plasma protein is prothrombin and it forms 40 milligram per deciliter in blood. Now another important ratio to be known is albumin globulin ratio. Its normal value is 1.7:1. It has many clinical significance and this ratio may be reversed in conditions like multiple myeloma, liver diseases, etc. Other organic molecules includes, that is non-protein nitrogenous substances like urea, uric acid, creatine, creatinine, xanthine, etc. And also other substances include neutral fats, glucose, cholesterol and phospholipids. Now coming to another topic, that is plasma proteins. In embryonic state, it originates from the mesenchymal cells. Mesenchymal cells are cells from which most of the organ and organ system are formed. In adults, they are synthesized mainly from liver, with an exception of globulin, which is synthesized from tissue macrophages, plasma cells and lymphocytes. Now coming to variations in plasma protein concentration. There will be decrease in plasma protein concentration as a result of hemorrhage due to loss of all forms of plasma proteins. However, complete restoration occurs in few days and all three, that is fibrinogen, globulin, albumin, are regenerated. Now coming to increase in plasma protein concentration. It occurs because of the loss of water from plasma secondary to dehydration and diabetes insipidus. Diabetes insipidus is a separate entity and has no relation with diabetes mellitus. It is a condition in which large amount of water is lost in urine due to deficiency of a hormone called antidiuretic hormone. Now coming to conditions that causing decrease in albumin. Can be physiological or pathological. Physiologically decrease in albumin occurs in that infancy, newborns and also in pregnancy where there will be proteinuria. As we discussed earlier, albumin is synthesized in liver. So any conditions that causing impaired protein synthesis, that is any liver conditions, that is hepatitis, cirrhosis of liver, can decrease the synthesis of albumin and causes hypoalbuminemia, that is decrease in albumin. Also severe malnutrition. It can also be due to excessive loss of albumin due to burns. Now coming to the functions of plasma proteins. One of the major function is it helps in coagulation. Fibrinogen, prothrombin and other clotting factors, they all play an important role in coagulation cascade and thus helps in coagulation. It also play an important role in to maintain the colloidal osmotic pressure across the vessel wall. We have studied that oxygenated blood from heart is pumped to aorta and from there to all major arteries. As they reach the capillary, there will be exchange of fluid at tissue level. The following picture shows an arteriole, capillary and a venule. In this picture we can see two forces, that is hydrostatic pressure and oncotic pressure. This colloidal osmotic pressure is also known as oncotic pressure. Hydrostatic pressure is the force exerted by the flow of blood and is directed outwards, while oncotic pressure is the pressure produced by plasma proteins, which causes absorption of fluid. So the rate of exchange depends on balance of these forces. From this we have come to the conclusion that the plasma proteins play an important role in the exchange of fluids at capillary level. Other functions, it helps in maintaining the viscosity of the fluid, that is blood. Viscosity is kept low since 80% of the total plasma concentration is due to albumin and fibrinogen is present only in traces. As viscosity increases, flow decreases and it causes decreased perfusion of tissues. So the viscosity should be kept low. It also helps in maintaining the systemic arterial blood pressure and it provides the stability to the blood. It is done with the help of fibrinogen and globulin. It also helps in maintaining the acid-base balance of the body. Although it only accounts for the 1/6 of the total buffering capacity of the blood, it helps in maintaining the acid-base balance of the body. It is amphoteric in nature, that is, it behaves as both acids and bases depending on the conditions. and it has another important function, that is transport and reservoir function. That is, they form loose bond with hormones, drugs and metals, and serves as reservoirs, and from which they are released at appropriate sites. So, certain hormones, drugs are released at appropriate sites and they are transported, and their transport function. So this concludes plasma proteins, and that completes the topics for the day. These slides will be definitely beneficial for those who are preparing for competitive exams. So stay tuned for further sessions regarding blood. Thank you for watching us, and have a good day.